Good morning, everybody. It's Becky at Aunt Beck's Creations. And I have decided Scott and I need some stockings. Since it's just him and I here now. And just something special. I have some of this narrow fur. So this is the only piece I have of it though. So I've got to make this stocking, like there's half of that. And if I hold my finger there, so the top of the stocking would be about that big. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, I had it on to begin with. I'm going to make a mark there and make a mark about there. That's plenty big enough. And for the top of the stocking, I'll just do a straight line with this. And this is just drop paper again, because it's what I have. Now the rest of this stocking I'm going to draw freehand, so let's see. I had thought about doing an elf toe, you know, like this, but I think that'd be too hard for me to turn and stuff, so I'm gonna go with just a regular one here. I don't like how that is right there. Let's do this. So, all right, I've got some scissors right here. I don't know if this is much fun for y'all to sit and watch me cut, but I figured I would just do little segments at a time. Okay. And this is going to just be made out of that same red felt. I could save this and use it on something, but I'm not going to because it's been used for drop cloth and now it's being used for a pattern. And I don't care that this is rough, it's just a pattern. Alright, so I'm going to go off camera and get the felt and stuff and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm just going to cut both layers at the same time. And just put a few pins in here and there. You can draw your stocking in any shape you want or any size. Just do a stocking shape. Don't be afraid to just go freehand. I think I'll add our names with glitter glue. All right. I saw the neatest idea on Pinterest where they made a stocking holder that looked like the end of a stair rail, and it had the pegs on each side of the four-sided post. And I thought that was the coolest idea ever. Okay. Whoops, almost sent that whole thing of pins off the table. That wouldn't have been a pretty picture, would it? It was quite chilly here this morning, 30 degrees when we were scooting Scott out the door, and tonight it's supposed to get down in the 20s. And no, I'm not keeping these little pieces of felt. I know I could, but I'm trying to use up what I have, and I don't need to store little bits. I don't have space for it. So now what I'll do is I'll cut another stocking out the same way, and then I'll come back and we'll stitch them together. Alright, we're back to sew it, but I have to show you something. I cut a strip of fabric. It's probably about 7 or 8 inches long, folded in half, about an inch and a quarter wide, folded it in half, and I'm pinning it in here at an angle, and that is my hanger for the stocking. I almost forgot that, and then I said, wait a minute, how am I going to hang these stockings? And now I'm going to get this under the presser foot. Got to turn the machine on. That would help, wouldn't it, Becky? I need to get my pins open over here so I can put these back as we go. And I'm going to see why this isn't working. It should be working. Unless my foot's not plugged all the way in. There we go. Oh, I forgot to have it on zigzag. We got to change that. Needles out of the fabric. No, stitch length, stitch width. I need the stitch width. Like that. Okay, and now because that's the hanger, I don't want it to pull off. I'm going to stitch all the way back over it, going backwards. Release the backup lever and work our way around this stocking. When you're going to go around a curve, you just have to slow down a little bit. Uh-oh. And when it's a real tight curve, stop with the needle down in the fabric, lift your presser foot slightly, and then drop it back down. Take a few stitches. Make sure the needle is in the fabric. Lift the presser foot, drop it back down. And when you do that, you can get around the curve nice and smooth. It's a little fiddly for curves. My glasses need to be on my face, not on the table. But when you do this, you end up with a nice smooth curve. Just like driving. You slow down when you go around the curves, right? I have a button that I push that puts the needle in the fabric on this machine. So if you don't have a machine like this, you might have to just use your wheel on the side, and always pull that toward you, never push it away. You'll end up with a knotted mess on your machine. Well, this stocking's got an awful big toe on it. That's okay. When your curve goes toward the inside, it's a little bit easier to deal with than when you're going around an outside curve. I don't know if I'm going to have enough red thread in that bobbin to do the other stocking or not. But I am going to go ahead and start stitching on this one to save some thread. And let's see, I need to go this way. And I'm going to just lift that presser foot and get this under there. And again, I'm going to really, uh-oh, hang on. There we go. I'm going to go back and forth on this. It's not wanting to advance it because I've got so much fabric trying to shove it through. There we go. Now it's feeding properly. It's probably smooshed the pile down on the felt. All right. All right, now I can take and snip this one free, and I'll just leave that one in there. Take the threads off this other side, and I'm going to trim this away here. And what I'll do, so it does smoothly, just take a few little nips in it. Don't cut through your stitching. Just taking a few when there's a curve to the outside, like, or to, you know what I'm saying. So it goes this way. If you clip along that curve, when you turn the stocking out right side out, it will do so much better for you. I'm glad I'm not using some, and I do a little clip in the curve there. Then we'll reach in. And I'll grab the toe, and then I'm going to pull that back toward me. Okay, there's the hanger. Go down here. Push that toe out to so the seam is set. Okay. And there's a stocking. And I'll come back when I add the fur to the top, and I'm going to use fabric tack for it. Alright? Alrighty, let's put some fur on this bad boy. Alright, a tip. When you have fur, like if you're making a teddy bear or if you're using fur trim and stuff, what you do is, I learned this from a lady that made costumes, okay? You don't just take it and cut through it, okay? Flip it over and cut through just the part that looks like sweater at the back. You don't cut through the fur. Okay, you don't cut through that fur. Just cut the backing part. And see, then you don't lose, like that lays this way, and you might lose a few little strands right where you cut, but you're not cutting any of this off. All right, you see you've cut through just the back, you haven't cut through the fur, so you don't end up with like short little bits that stick up. Okay, always just cut through this stuff that looks like a sweater at the back. That's just a tip. All right, and now we're going to use some fabric tack. You can also use E6000 if that's what you have. And what I do is I just get it started here. This is marvelous stuff, and that light is going to drive me crazy. Let's turn that one off. All right. And I just put a little bit on, okay? And this fur will build up on that. I call it a snot glob, but you know what I'm talking about. So just go ahead and at the seam, set that little section down that you just put the glue on, okay? And I'm just going to hold that for a second. It doesn't take long for this to grab. And then I just start working my way around. I'll hold what I've already glued with my thumb on this hand, and then with this hand I'll add a little bit more glue. And really you only need it on the two edges, and it doesn't take a lot. And I go down a ways. Just go as far as you think you can manage. If you can only do little teeny segments, that's fine. And you're just lining the edge of the trim up with the edge of the felt. I just kind of let it flow on down. Okay, and then just press it again. All right, we got a little off kilter. There we go. Just kind of press it in there so that glue will grab. Okay. Add a little bit more glue. Okay. I guess you could also do this with a hot glue gun. I just didn't feel like burning my fingers today. All right, and I'm just kind of pressing them together. It'll grab. My elbow keeps catching the toe of the stocking and flipping it back toward me. We're staying up here in Greenville this weekend and probably next weekend too, because I will have two kitties that had just had surgery next weekend. And Scott needs a break. Plus, it's the end of the year and he is trying to get some projects finished, you know, that need to be wrapped up before the end of the year, to make headquarters in Arizona happy. So he is, yeah, he's staying late a lot and he's really tired. So I told him, I said, let's just take a break and just kind of ease our way through this season. I might have too much here, but we'll see. And I'm just going to put a little bit across there to wipe that glue booger off. We don't need that glob of fur to get stuck in the way either. Yeah, I'm going to have a tad bit. Now this fur I do not toss, because even little bits can be beards on little things and things like that. So when I get a little bit closer, I will check it and trim it back a little bit more. And right now I'm not going to add a whole bunch of glue at a time. Just add enough to get me close to where I need to be. Right. All right, so now we're going to come down close to the hanger, right up close, and again, I'm only going to clip at the back, not through the fur, only through the sweater part of it. part that looks like a sweater at the back. Okay, that way you don't lose all that bits. We're going to lose a little bit right where I cut, but it'll be smooth transition then. Okay, now I don't want my hanger to get caught in the glue. Get this glue shook back down. And we'll just push this over right up next to the loop. Push that down in there. I try to get it down into the seam a little bit so you can't tell. And see, there we go. I've got one stocking made, and I think I like them to hang this way. So now I need to decide, do I want to put our whole names on it, or do I just want to put a letter, or do I not want to worry about it? I'm almost tempted to see if I can get an initial ornament. I know they carried them at Michael's, I think it was last year, and just get an initial to tack on here, like get a B for me and an S for Scott. So I think I'm going to leave y'all with that. And that's how you make a real simple, quick stocking. I like to do these when Greg has a girlfriend, which he does right now, and she's coming from California to visit. I'm thinking I might make her a stocking as well. I need to talk with Greg and see if he would like me to make one for his gal. So I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching, and I hope this Christmas idea was helpful. Happy holidays!